those days. And then I was not having any intention to come into academic field, but there were some circumstances, and because of those circumstances, I came in Aurangabad, and in fact before that also, being Kavade sir was always coming for Delhi unit, MIT Delhi, and then the MIT Bulandshahr, which is Uttar Pradesh. We have two campuses there also. So I was just looking how things are going in academics also, but by sitting on the fence, not being a part of this entire system. So my point is that I was not having any experience at all. Whatever the experience of academic world I was having, it is just, I can say as a student what I have seen as a academic institution, or you can say what I have learned to see how Kavade sir is working, that's all. I was not having any other exposure. So with that kind of exposure, I started, I was taking some lectures in MIT Delhi, and then a lot of assignments in MIT Bulandshahr, and so many things. I started, getting involved in this MIT activity. So my point is that I was not having any background. So when you get a good big opportunity to work from a different position, I don't want to say a top position, this position and that position, but the position which is very responsible position. And if you have to work, from that position with little background, having, no formal kind of experience, so it was a big challenging task. So what was the challenge, you can ask me, what were the two challenges which I faced when I started working with MIT? I would say, when you have to board a train which is already moving, it is really very difficult. There is always chances of having fatal accident, and particularly in academic world, where only you respect the gray hairs. So with black hair, suppose you have to do something. So acceptability is a big challenge, and that is what I encountered. Acceptability and creating positions amongst the stakeholders, and the stakeholders would be, whether it is inside stakeholders, the outside stakeholders. Very difficult challenge I faced in the beginning, and but I thought that this is a challenge. Let us take this challenge. There was motivation, big motivation also. And if you can ask what was the strong thing I was having at that point of time, I would say the empowerment. So that was a great driving force, to deal with all those issues. You are learning, you are committing a lot of mistakes, you are keep on doing, still you are empowered, and all those things were there. So, precisely, I would say the challenge was number one of acceptability. Being a, working from a, position where everybody see toward you, and where people really feel that some decision is going to come, they are going to really do something for the organization. There are a lot of expectations involved from the employees, and from that position you have to work. It is a bit difficult. It's a big challenge, but somehow very interesting. So therefore, friends, this presentation is no rate safety share, as I told. So this is going to be the flow of presentation. I have not prepared this presentation with the intention that I am going to give this presentation to, I would say, regulatory board, or I would say AICP, this and that, so that I should have to have some figures, some statistics, some graph which can tell you about the growth of the organization. I am not going to talk on all those things. So let me clear it. I am going to talk a bit differently. So differently because I have gone through this phase, I have experienced a lot of things. So I am not going to talk on structured pattern. For example, structured pattern means what is the vision, what is the mission, what are the objectives, what are the goals, and all those things. Even though I have written here a strategy, this is actually not a strategy. It is, you can say, the initiatives. The initiative which I have taken at that point of time. But now that initiative has paid, you can tell this is a strategy. Actually, It was all initiatives. So this way, entire presentation is going to flow. Friends, I have learned from lot of things from my mistakes. I committed a lot of mistakes and learned from all those mistakes. Mantra is very important thing. Mantra, I would say, is something which doesn't work now and then, but it definitely works when you are in difficult situation, when you are in crisis, when the market is not good. And all those situations, this mantra is called a spirit. It's a very important spirit for anybody who is heading any operation. If he has some mantra and he could successfully he can percolate that mantra to the bottom, it will really a great thing. So I believe in persistence. You remember when Umeshji Rate was there, 8th Rate I was there in that program. So there also I said, Bhago, agar gir jao, fir utho aur fir bhago. So that should be the spirit. You are going to face a lot of difficulties, you are going to face a lot of obstacles. Things are not easy. But if you have some determination, strong determination, I think it is, I have written, nothing in this world can take the place of persistence. Talent will not, definitely. Nothing is more common than unsuccessful people with talent. If you can ask where you want to put the talent, I would say first is the persistence, second is the attitude, the third is the talent. If you can ask me where you would rate talent, I would rate talent as at third place. So friends, it really works for me and still working for me, it is going to work for me. So I learned a lot from my own mistakes. So this is also advice to a lot of students who are sitting here. Actually keep on trying, you definitely get your desired goal. Whatever the goals are there, keep on trying consistently with a systematic approach. I am not saying that there are a lot of things falls in line. When I say persistence, it is not just you keep on doing good work. It needs a very smart work. But yes, it is not always happen that if you are looking to get something, you are going to get it. You are not going to, but you definitely get it if you will keep on pursuing it. Philosophy, I would say, is a very important thing for any organization. It is very, very important for, educational institute or any organization who, work for education. So, if you can ask me what exactly is philosophy? Philosophy is basically the belief. It is the concept. It is an attitude of an organization. Any organization. Belief, concept, and attitude of any organization. So, the importance of philosophy is, suppose, the first check of whether the philosophy is really working is number one, that all inside stakeholders, your students, your faculty, your teaching, non-teaching staff, everyone should have faith in the statement that this statement is true. That is the first check. Whether they all are being a member of the family, whether they are having a feel that this is the way student-centric and faculty-driven philosophy, that is number one. Number second check is the outside stakeholders. The stakeholders, are they perceiving you in this way? Yes, this organization is really student-centric and faculty-driven. So these are the two very important checks to really see whether this philosophy has been implemented properly or not. And motto I would say you always need some driving force, some guiding force. So in MIT we have a motto called Quest for Excellence. But it's a very fancy word, excellence. I don't think once you achieve excellence, it is going to remain excellence. So there is still the better way to really do that thing. So actually excellence, this motto, if you can ask me, is really helping you to really revise your benchmark. Once you achieve one benchmark, yes, go for next. In academic world, I have seen people, always talking about I have done this in 1965, even in 2013. So I did this in 1978 and 80 and all those things. And this is very predominantly you can see in educational world. But this is excellence actually is nothing. I would say that it is nothing called excellence in past. So now how to convert it down? Definitely there are a lot of work which is required to do, lot of things you have to impart. Each training program, your day-to-day functioning, and a lot of things there you have to pass on this message about quest for excellence, so that there should be a right message to go at the top. I think if I will talk something different here, I probably have chance to be outcast from this fraternity, because it is very difficult in present context to say that education is a business. It's a very bold statement, but I think the clarity of the business is very important. Whatever the business you are doing, if you do not have the clarity, probably whatever the background you are having, it is going to be very difficult for you to take right decision. So clarity is very, very important. I feel that education is a business, and business is not a bad word. Business is a transaction. Yes, commercialization of education can be a debatable issue. Whether the education is commercialized or not can be debatable. But accepting it that education is a business, I don't find that accepting this would be something wrong. You know, business basically, if you can ask me what exactly is the two important aspects of any business, I would say number one is the customer satisfaction. And second thing of any business is of making money. These two are the important aspects. But in current system, legal system of managing educational system in this country, either if you want to run any education institution, either you should be registered under Society Registration Act, or you should be registered under Public Trust Act, or you should be registered under Section 25 of Companies Act. In all those three things, the one thing is common, that it is for the non-profit organization. The non-profit organization is the statement. No business and non-profit. These two things seem contradictory. But I would say, if there is no profit, forget about non-profit. Now we can say, when I say one is customer satisfaction, I would say that you have to see whether the students are satisfied, whether teachers are satisfied being working with you, whether the stakeholders like industry is satisfied with you or not. That can be the customer. And at the same time, I would say making money is the second important aspect of any business. You can say the surplus. In self-funding organization, where you are not getting any grant from anywhere for any development, getting funds is a very tricky, and creating surplus is more tricky, and then putting that surplus back is really more tricky, and it's very tricky in any non-profit organization. So I personally feel there is no harm to say that education is a business. But yes, there are a lot of ethics one has to understand, but I personally feel that we have to come out from that our traditional way of managing education institutions. There are a lot of expectations, and education institutions have very, very important role to play. Therefore, it has to be seen a different perception and all. It has to be managed in a different way. It really requires a corporate kind of planning to run nowadays education institution. It is also important to understand, if I would say it's a business, then you have to understand the relationship between, buyer and seller. You could understand what kind of relation it is. But when we talk about education institution, the relationship between student and institute is not like buyer and seller. You can't attract any customer by saying we have a 2-year warranty. You can't attract any customer by saying that we have something cheap. You cannot attract any customer by saying that we have a no discount offer, monsoon offer, something like that. It's a very evolving relationship. Student and institute has a very, very evolving relationship. See, one example. When institute go to students and tell, this is what the product I have for you, it means institute is selling to the students. And when student decide he has to join that institute, he started selling his career. No, it is exactly reverse now. पहले मैं बेच रहा हूँ, वो खरीद रहा है, अब वो बेच रहा है और मैं खरीद रहा हूँ. So that is the relationship. And third, when student join the education institution, he becomes the partner in the development. So the relationship, the collaborative relationship between teacher and faculty in institute. And when student pass out, he will become the brand ambassador. He will become, once he becomes the alumni of the institution, he becomes your brand ambassador. Now, if you understand this relationship, do you think, can you afford that you would provide them a substandard kind of thing? The customer which is going to remain with you forever. It's very, very essential and important in this relationship that you have to ensure when the student is going to join you, you have to see how you can help to achieve the potential of that student. It's very important to really see that he should achieve get the best out of that student. It's very important. So this is important to understand. Faculty, as I said, this should be student-centric, it should be faculty-driven. The most important resource of any education institution is faculty. And empowering them with accountability is the most difficult thing in the private context. So, I have given one statement. It is being found that students report higher level of engagement and learning at institutions where faculty members use active and collaborative learning techniques, engage students in experiences, emphasize high order cognitive activities in the classroom, interact with students, challenge students academically, and value enriching education experience. Means, if I would say the best faculty I would say that